All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. If you're watching this live, I see you. I salute you. If you're watching the replay, probably like most of you, this is the time of day where we do the question of the day. Earlier this year, well, really at the start of this year, I had a laundry list of random questions and I cut them up, put them in a bowl. And so every day that I'm in the office, I pull one of these out and answer it live on the spot with you. And always encourage you to share your answers too, if you feel so inclined. All right, so today's question is, what is your greatest strength and your greatest weakness? I could pull the, hang on one second. What is your greatest strength and your greatest weakness? I could pull this on you now. I could say, ooh, well, my greatest weakness is actually one of my greatest strengths that's overused. Now, I'll try not to do that, but greatest strength or strengths or greatest weaknesses. Okay. I'll start with the strengths. Let's see here. I think I just spoke about this the other day. I think I have a passion and enthusiasm that I think is contagious and it's very real, authentic, which is also why that generally is received well and it just motivates, inspires, really lifts people up. Trust me, I have my days, but everything I try to deliver in a solution based, upbeat way. Even though sometimes my words can be very crisp or direct and come across grumpy. I don't know. I don't mean that, but I think I have a good, positive, engaging uh, energy that can lift others up and influence other people. So there's that. I think I'm very good at strategy. I'm a brainstorm person where I can see things that many people don't see or haven't quite thought of yet. Um, my mind has a way to see the different puzzle pieces and put them together and say, boom, here's what we need to do, which brings me to my next one. I think I'm very good at taking big, complex ideas or visions and goals and breaking them down and reverse engineering them into the granular. What is it I need to do today, this week, this month, this quarter, this year? And take the big, scary, almost seemingly impossible goals or visions and breaking them down and pulling them into the present to where it is very possible and the individual has belief and confidence to execute now, knowing that the dominoes are lined up sequentially and it's just a matter of time to ultimately get what they desire. So I think those are a few of my strengths. I don't know. I'd be curious to hear how other people might see that in me or not. As far as weaknesses, boy, I am not very detail oriented. I do surround myself with people like Carissa, who's very systems, processes, detail oriented. I live in more of the futuristic idea land, and that can be frustrating for people. I like to move quickly. I love speed of implementation, which also comes to a weakness, not a weakness, but whatever, because I can create messes. I change, I move, I pivot, I adapt frequently, and I don't always slow down enough to explain the why or be thorough and detailed enough to have other people understand it. So to the outside looking in, it's like, oh, Jake's doing this again. He's squirreling out. No, actually, I'm not. It's been vetted. It's been very well thought through. But I like to move, and I'm willing to fail, and not, you know, create a ton of resentment or whatever because of that. Um, Other weaknesses. Did I say I'm stubborn? Yeah, I can be stubborn. I can be very stubborn. Um, Set in my ways. It doesn't mean I have to be right, but it takes a good debate, a good argument, a good posturing to show me your point of view and tell me why mine is not correct. One of my fatal flaws, as a friend tells me, is I am quick, I think, to get defensive. And it's likely because of that. It's not in my nature to get defensive or, ah, it's because I have thought through this. I have worked on this. I have failed many ways to get to this stance that I'm in, this state of mind that I'm in. And when that's disrupted or challenged, sometimes I do get defensive because it's like, no, I live this 24/7, 365. You don't just get to swoop in, swoop out and think that you have the answer. Like, and that's not at any person. It's just like, that's, if there's a defensiveness or I really dig my heels in, that's why. And I think that can become not a great thing always. What else? Weaknesses. Here's a weakness. This is kind of borderline what I was razzing myself about earlier. I I value accountability, but I suck as a manager of people. Like if people need accountability, or not that, if people need somebody telling them what to do always, or a manager to kind of like, no, like, dude, I'm not that person. I work best with self-starters, people who go do things, people who come back and give me updates without me having to ask, closing those feedback loops. I suck as a manager. I think I'm a good leader. I think I can lead and push and challenge people into their greatness. But hopefully, little game of semantics. If somebody's looking for a boss or a manager, I'm not that person at all. Um, and with that, I tend to give people a long leash, a long leash, and a lot of autonomy in the job. I just assume that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and don't need to be told or micromanaged. And sometimes when I see things that are not great or whatever, I will draw attention to it. I'm not afraid to confront it. However, when it becomes a pattern, I tend to keep people too long. I see the best in people, and it's very hard for me to uh, give up on them because I think it's just a matter of time. They're going to figure it out. They're smart. They're talented. They're all these things, and they are. But sometimes I keep people around too long when both sides might know that the time has come and we've served the season of life and business that we're meant to serve, and maybe it's time to go separate directions. So I don't know. This is a big topic. Sorry, I'm just rambling here, but what is your greatest strength and your greatest weakness? I cheated. I gave multiples of answers, whoops, to this question, but you tell me, what is your greatest strength, your greatest weakness, or if you have any insights about me, what do you think my greatest strength or my greatest weakness is from your perspective? I'm always open to that. Take it easy on me. Just kidding. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll talk to y'all soon.